criminal? What makes you think they can just look at me, I'm a criminal, for what?
Where's the microphone?
What else do you know about me? What else do you know about me? About the color of my skin. You don't know my name. You don't know who I am, or where I come from, or any of my morals. So stop telling me that I'm a fucking criminal. I'm here just as much as you are. We're doing the same shit. That's what it is, right there. It's right there. I'm a criminal for what? And you're not for what? I don't know you. You're white. That's all I can see. And I'm only black. That's all I can see. But yeah, you just call me a criminal like that. That's what made me really fucking angry.
Give it up. Oho, daki api. Milat. Obala lokola nese. My name is Mike. I'm Native American from the Iguala Nation. I spent 7 months at Standing Rock.
Oh, right now we have an activist who is at Standing Rock. He said he spent 7 months there.
This is the colors of the medicine wheel. This is the sacred colors. If you pay attention and you notice, the sacred colors is made up of 4 separate colors.
We're going to get a better view.
There's the red, the white, the black, and the yellow. These are the natural balance of the earth that you are standing on. The earth that you are standing on right now is not America. America is a government. The earth you're standing on is rural island. It has been rural island for tens of thousands of years.
How many times the audio malfunctions?
Looks like this guy's asking questions to the police officer. I don't really care whose side you're on. You probably shouldn't bring kids to a protest. There is the Native American guy who's been speaking. Oh. Somebody's yelling at the AK guy. Try to get over there and see what's happening.
That looks like a pretty civil discussion.
What's that?
They're having a pretty civil back and forth.
All right. How long have you been talking for?
A little while.
Cool, thank you.
Couple minutes.
If I was white, I'd kill myself. I suggest you do this thing.
Are you here with an agenda?
No, it's quite clear. I'm just like making cool videos. Bad luck, guy.
Yeah.
You're fucking Nazi.
Can I talk to you a little bit about what's happening here? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah. What's your take on it?
Can you? I don't want to do my face on here if you don't mind. What?
What the fuck?
I don't do an honest interview.
Black Lives Matter is the movement.
You realize that
Are you fucking moving?
people at protests have been prosecuted based off of face recognition technology? Like, this is something
You're
that's
fucking
been
crazy.
proven.
Your dad's fucking
I mean,
dead.
fuck,
Nobody
like,
gives a fuck about it.
I'm just.
I say, I'm going to your dad's dad because he fought for my freedom by going into other countries and fucking mobilizing them.
You get the sense that, like, you're pretty removed from the amount of pain that's, like, pent up around here. Like these people are dying. These people have been dying disproportionately. Like, black people make up 13% or some fucking tiny percent of this country, and they die twice as often by police. This is recapitulated in every single other system, including the justice system, including all of that. Like, I don't really get where you're coming from here. You can't be objective.
You see all the other camera guys with news cameras?
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing I am.
Yeah, I just, like, I'm curious as to, like, what you're getting.
So tell us why you care about Black Lives. What are you doing to protect Black Lives? No. What do you know about Black Lives? Hey, okay. George Floyd gets murdered by the police. Who needs help? The police or George Floyd? Who needs help?
He's thinking real long and hard. He may go home tonight.
Black people are George Floyd gets murdered in the foot and told fucking who needs help? Black people are going to their car. You tell me that you're not a fucking white supremacist.
So much. Come on, take
Go home, you got to take your fucking duty. Go ride your fucking stupid ass Harley Davidson.
The only thing they're going to do is they're going to overwork you with 60 to 70 hours a week and underpay you. That's all you're going to get. And the best you get is
That's a platform, my guy. 3,000?
They got a shit ton of DUIs.
Who are your followers? Like, do you have a...
Everyone here is braver than your dad.
Or like is it something?
Yes, I do.
Because they can't
Yes,
handle
I
it.
do.
They don't know what they're doing. You're in mental warfare right now, brother.
Oh, you're the real victim, huh? Because you wear stupid fucking glasses? Then why the fuck are you in Blue Lives Matter, huh? Let me ask you the same question, dipshit. You see the video of George Floyd being murdered by cops? Who needs help? Black people are cops. Who needs help?
He's not a criminal. He's not a criminal. You know what happened? Rob Newsby was part of this bill. That wasn't even on him. He didn't bring that shit out of his pocket. He walked back. He walked back. He walked back. He walked back to go get a real fucking Nazi. That is what happened. Tell me how that man is You're not protesting about all the black lives that kill each other. You're protesting about your mom that accidentally killed somebody. And then you start riots and start fucking up the world. We're not fucking up the world. We're making our voices known.
Wait, hold on. Did you vote for a traitor? Oh, you did. Wait, you voted for Trump, right? You voted for Trump, right? So you voted for a traitor. You know what I mean? You want to talk about fucking up this country? Let's talk about the man who literally committed treason.
Don't even go there.
Oh, you don't? Oh, yeah, don't talk about treason. I want to be a patriot, but I don't want to talk about a traitor in the White House that I voted for, right? You don't want to talk about that. No, we don't want to talk about it. We ignore it, right? That's how you feel, right? What are the facts? The facts that he committed treason and you voted for him? What other facts do you need? You mean where he tried to sell the election to the Ukrainians to try and win?
Oh, you mean all that shit that he got cleared for and there's no proof from all the Democrats?
I'm sorry, what? What? I'm sorry.
Yes, he did. It was the Democrats railroading somebody. So, oh, there.
We have all the
The
witnesses to
governor is a
corroborate.
Democrat, right?
Sure.
The mayor, Democrat. So why don't you go climb up through their asses individually?
You do understand how this works, right?
But protest.
We've tried to be peaceful. We've tried to be peaceful.
Honestly.
Because you're making this turn, you're making this turn into something from hurting people. Keeping you from hurting people. You're turning shit into oil by yourself.
Hold up, you want to know how anything's happened in this country? Do you want to know how anything's happened in this country? Do you want to know why you have a weekend? You have a weekend because of riots. I bet you can't wait to go to the bar on Friday night. And it's only because of riots that you have that right. Only because of riots. You owe your life to riots. I owe my life to riots. We all owe our lives to riots. So take your cowardly ass back home.
You know, I'm thinking it's the Martians that were riots. They must have come down here. Beat in the water. At some point.
So that's why you don't know history? You do know you have a weekend because of riots. You love the weekend. You love the weekend. You love making a real wage. Do you like those things?
Do you enjoy Rico? Your country is so much.
Yeah, that was for our independence.
That was just. Oh, so that was just. Oh, that was just. Oh, so black independence isn't it? It doesn't matter?
Listen, I just said, do not listen. Try to listen to the whole sentence, not just a little part. Because when I say that Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, broad statement.
Then why don't Black Lives Matter?
Did I just say all lives matter? All right. Now, if you don't commit a crime, you don't resist arrest, you don't get cuffed and stuff. All right?
Taylor.
There's always going to be exceptions.
Why are they always black? Why are they always black?
They're not always black. You guys
Why don't they go to prison then? Disproportionately so. Why don't those cops go to prison then?
13%
Why haven't they been
of the
arrested?
population is black, and they commit 50% of the crime.
He went to jail. He went
Your
to jail.
neighborhood was full of cops. There'd be more crimes there too.
If your neighborhood was all full of crime, too, the cops would probably come to your neighborhood a lot more often, too.
Do you understand why that happens?
Every house somewhere, I'm sure, and you don't have to worry about the cops because nothing bad happens in your neighborhood.
Because of my opinion.
I don't want to
You know, it's
My shot's right here. What?
Hey, Bobby, I'm talking to you. Hey, Cracker, listen, the one time a policeman is when a black cop murdered a white woman. He got sentenced to 12 years. He went to jail right away. How come any of the cops that murdered all these black people aren't in jail? What happened to the Mike Brown's killer? What happened to Eric Carter's killer? What happened to the Rice killer? What happened to Trayvon Martin's killer? What happened to George Floyd's killer? You really think that there's justice? No, the fuck is there justice? What is this one that is generated? You want to give it as genocide? And the police are building the KKK. It doesn't get a fucking white supremacist.
If Sandra don't get it, shut it down! If Sandra don't get it, shut it down! If Sandra don't get it, shut it down! If Brianna don't get it, shut it down! If Brianna don't get it, shut it down! If Brianna don't get it, shut it down! If Eliza don't get it, shut it down! If Eliza don't get it, shut it down! If Eliza don't get it, shut it down! If Orlando don't get it, shut it down! If Orlando don't get it, shut it down! If Orlando don't get it, shut it down! We need to know who's in who right now. And for all the brothers and sisters on that side of the fence, I need you to listen up right now too.
Incel life is really hard. He's probably having a tough life as it is.
I need you to take 10 seconds to raise your fist.
It's really hard when people are upset.
He's not calling for everyone to raise your fist if you're on
And
the
look around.
side.
These brown people have a win
Can you
for
see what these stadies are doing?
you. These people are your family.
How the fuck do you call us minorities, bitch? Look at yourself.
They may not have been at the table before, but they're staying at the table now. Everybody hold their fist up. You know who you are. You know why you're here. We're here to say that it's not okay.
Imagine voting for fascism and calling yourself a patriot.
Outside of the government,
You are not fascist. You are not
you preach the white supremacy.
That was literally saying the fucking guy.
I didn't see him stick with I thought he was
Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. 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 Prosecute the police. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have racist bills have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. These racist bills have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. These racist bills have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Some sort of action here.
Get the fuck out of here! She called me. That's not no. We're telling her to get the fuck out. What happened? Stand up. No.
The whole crowd is chanting against this woman right here. The whole crowd is chanting against this lady. This one lady was involved in some sort of altercation. Everyone is shouting her down.
Go home, Gary! Go home! Go home, Gary! Go home! Go home, Gary! Go home! Go home, Gary! Go home!
And just like that, the protest is on the move. The whole crowd is running this lady out of the vicinity.
Go home!
Never come
Go
back.
home, Gary! Go home! Go 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 home, Gary! Go home!
Ton of her weight. We're gonna get a little bit better vantage point here. Very smart.
I like that. Hey! Go home, Gary! Go home, Gary! Go home, Gary! Go home, Gary! Go home, Gary!
They're running her out of town for something she may or may not have done. It's unclear. I didn't see what happened. The crowd is chanting, "You about to lose your job." Looks like the cops or the highway patrol, state patrol, the sheriffs, those are the Hennepin County sheriffs, I think, are riding along with this small procession. Shit, sorry about that. Did I break it? No. Cool.
Black Lives Matter, yeah? 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 Black Lives Matter, yeah?
This is the lady right here that they're trying to run out of the protest.
Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace!
There's a lot of sheriffs following this little bit of activity. Let's say maybe a dozen sheriffs here. pro-police rally over
You aren't showing to the camera. You're so narrow-minded. You can talk a big game, but now when we on you, all of a sudden you hide.
The fuck are you afraid of?
Really interesting scene. You're hearing sounds, so you're about to lose your job. Things like that.
We see you. You're about to lose your job. You have to hide right now. You're about to lose your job. You're about to lose your job.
They're chanting about doxing this lady that they're chasing out of the protest. It's unclear where we are. I think we're behind the governor's mansion now. This is the corner of Oxford and Grand. Oxford Street and Grand Avenue. Behind me here we have maybe about 10, 12 members of the Sheriff's Department. To my other side we have this lady that the protesters are chasing out of the rally. It's unclear where we're actually going, but earlier they were mocking her for her weight. They were saying they're going to dox her. Seems like they've given up now. Let's see if we can talk to that lady by any chance. Looks like cops are going to escort her to her vehicle. Seems like the situation is abated without violence, which is good. That's what we like to see. Looks like the cops are escorting the crowd of conservatives, or the group of 3 conservatives that was run out of the protest, escorting them to their vehicles.
Need they cuffs to protect her?
Interesting. All right, guys. So what we saw just there was a group of. What we saw just there was a group of maybe 20 or so Black Lives Matter protesters running a trifecta of conservative demonstrators out of the protest that we were just at. They followed her, chanting things like "You about to lose your job," and they threatened to dox her. They also mocked her for her weight. We're gonna head back to the protest now because it looks like law enforcement is escorting the conservatives back to their vehicles. It's unclear what triggered that event that we just saw. I wasn't able to figure it out. It looked like there was some sort of altercation happening, and suddenly the whole mob started calling her a Karen and yelling at her, and they eventually expelled her from the area. So we're gonna make our way back to the governor's mansion to see what's going on there. Just bear with us, folks. We're gonna be back at the action very shortly. What do you think the quickest way back is? Up through here, probably?
Yeah, just go here and take a right. We're not
Sweet.
too far away. We're pretty close.
Thank you. So in just maybe 1 or 2 minutes, we'll be back to the governor's mansion, to the scene of the protest. To recap, ladies and gentlemen, we're here on scene at the governor's mansion, Governor Tim Walz's executive mansion in the Twin Cities, where a group of pro-police conservatives planned a rally many days ago. Just last night, yesterday and last night, individuals affiliated with Black Lives Matter decided that they were going to hold a counter rally, which quickly grew to rival and surpass the pro-police rally. Right ahead of me here, you see the corner. We're going to be back at the protest in just seconds now. But what happened as these two rallies sort of went on, the Black Lives Matter folks moved into the area occupied by the conservatives, pushed out that small group that we just saw, and seem to have control of the area right now. Just ahead of me here, you can see a little area where Black Lives Matter is dispensing snacks, shirts, and first aid. And as soon as we get around this corner, we should see what remains of the protest. Coming up on it now, and here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the Black Lives Matter side of the police line right now. To my left here, is a man who identified himself as Native American and who said that he was actually a standing wreck. He appears to be one of the organizers of today's events.
St. Paul Police Department, you can still change it. You can put a vest on. You can be a marshal. You can do some real work. You can protect some real people. You don't have to go to poor communities. You don't have to corral homeless people. You don't have to exploit black women. You don't have to exploit indigenous people. You don't have to be murderers. You don't have to work for slave catchers. You don't have to work for your white boss. You don't have to work for men. You don't have to work for a department that has
and we're back.
A high rate of domestic abuse, a high rate of suicide, a high rate of DUIs. I get it. I get it. I got friends in the cops. It's tough. You're overworked and underpaid, but you don't have to be a murderer. You don't have to be the person you are right now. You can change it. You really do. You can put a martial vest on right now.
Looks like the Black Lives Matter protesters are trying to get cops to put down their badge and join them as a, quote, marshal. Not exactly sure what legal authority a Black Lives Matter marshal has, but they're recruiting.
They're going to be two-speed in a few years, brother. They ain't going to be flashing like they are right now. You can be a foot patrol, because they ain't going to have the money to buy you a bike, brother. Come on now. You can still put it down. We can put that money in front town. We can put that money in affordable housing. We can put that money into actual communities, protecting communities.
Looks like they're trying to block cameras. I followed that little protest for a little.
This guy, they had to push him off because he wanted to hit this lady here. He wanted to hit her. They're trying to push him back and say, no, man, don't do it.
Which guy?
The short guy with the mask, angry.
Oh, yeah. He was saying something about killing crackers earlier. So we're hearing that a little scuffle broke out here.
Get the fuck away from me, because I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be pretty for you. She works for mental health and she's not telling us where she works. Stay away from me. You got one more time that you can come here.
This is a conservative pro-priest lady right in front of me here with the black shirt.
Stay away from me.
Seems to have to get in a fight with this guy.
Liberals don't work. We don't work.
No problem. Sorry, my bad.
Be careful.
Respect people's distances, please.
Somehow have to
White allies can step up and actually make a fence right now. White people can actually help right now.
Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
Cops have moved in to break up this fight. Seems to be about to happen.
Where you work? Stay away from me. Where the fuck you work? Stay away from me. Where you work? One more time. Where you work? One more time.
The cop right in front of me here, another one right there, a couple of them behind me, trying to separate two individuals that seem like they're on the verge of getting into a fight.
No, you weren't. You had to be right here. You were right there. What's up? 4 more years. Trump. Katrina for Trump. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. Your mother. Your mother. Your mother.
There doesn't seem like there's any more lines anymore. Before there was a divide between the liberals and the conservatives. That seems to have totally fallen apart. Although the actual physical barriers remain, it seems like about half of the Black Lives Matter protesters have migrated over to the conservative side and are intermingling freely with the pro-police demonstrators.
people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power.
Well, guys, this started out.
All lives matter. Hell, hell, hell. What the hell is that getting done? If all lives matter, why would you come after one of them when he's dying?
What do you want, 250, 300 people here?
How can you say right in this building that I'm going to come out and support them?
Our activists. This is AK guy right in front of me. Your neck is cut open. Your locket cut open.
Your precious police are killing you too. You are standing on the wrong side. Do I look like a criminal? Do I look like a criminal? No, I'm not a criminal. I got every right to stand where I want to stand.
We're right in the middle of it now, folks. Right in the middle of the action here. Again, we're on the conservative side of this demonstration, but it's been overrun by Black Lives Matter protesters. Right in the middle of it. I did not expect this today, guys, at all. Not one bit.
It shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't be sides. It should be in the middle. And I know we were talking across the way, but we should all meet in the middle. We should all meet in the middle. This is us having a conversation. We want to have a conversation, so let's have this conversation. Can you imagine one of your family members getting killed and all these cops are showing up to intimidate you for 3 years? You can't even fucking file a wrongful death. I have, but it wasn't by the hands of cops. Who was it by?
Well, there you go.
Does that feel okay to you? Does it feel okay that you're going to stand behind these blue lives when it happens? Yes, I do want to know. Okay, so is that why you're angry? Is that why you support Trump? So if you understand that if we take racist side, I'm not racist. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that. I'm saying putting race aside, you can understand the pain that everyone else is going through. I understand the pain but we're saying that's why we're here. We are here because it's not okay. There's so many lives that have been lost, and it was thrown out as an accident. I am not standing above you, I'm not standing below you, I'm standing beside you. And that's what we see you as right now too, man. We appreciate that. But I'm on this side right now.
Definitely is. I forgot mine.
But I'm not better than you. Nobody's better than anybody else.
This conversation started out less than civil, but it appears to be decelerating now between a conservative protester and 2 Black Lives Matter protesters right here.
Yes.
I'm just going to stop narrating for a while and let you guys listen.
It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be this system. It doesn't need to be these cops. It doesn't need to be this system.
It needs to be this system with other systems.
system has failed us for too long. The system has failed us for too long.
So it looks like there's really not that many conservative demonstrators left here. Maybe a dozen, maybe 2 dozen. And there's about, I would say, 150 to 200 left-wing demonstrators that have moved over to the conservative side of the protest and have a small group of pro-police activists cornered up against this fence that is right behind me.
Ma'am, if there was a monument of the man that killed your loved one, would you be fucking mad?
I would be mad. What would I do? I would do it legally and justify it. What I would do, I would actually petition in court of court to have it taken down legally.
Take this shit down, and they weren't taken down.
It just started to happen.
People have been wanting these statues taken down for years. They wanted these statues down for years.
Immediately, without justification.
Again, guys, there's maybe, I don't know, there's not that many conservatives left here. And the conservative side has been occupied now by the Black Lives Matter activists that are here. Conservatives are backed up against this little fence that you see right behind me.
That was crime. And that's what he's talking about. That's less of a crime.
But did you?
Vandalism, killing is a crime.
You crime when you do that to someone who's illegal.
That's right.
Keep going. I get that. Keep going.
How about you stop talking to me then? What? You keep talking to me.
This guy over here on the other side, the left-hand side, seems to be yelling at this guy next to me, the AK guy.
It's enough.
Go open that fucking history book. You know nothing about this. Shut the fuck up. I do know for a fact. You and your first, you and you know more than you to my mouth. You're doing it for 2 years. 2 years. That is just because this is the right thing. Go ahead, prosecute. Therefore, you get what you deserve. I was talking civilly.
I was not having cops literally surrounding you and mocking you, but you don't see justice. Do you think that is okay? Do you think that is okay? I work with 25 families in Minnesota who have all experienced the same thing. I'm asking you that directly, ma'am. Do you think that's okay? Do you think it's okay for police officers to bully families into not feeling safe?
Any folks
One back top, not
All right, so that little scene is winding down. We still have a small crowd of Black Lives Matter activists pointing at one lady there, but people seem to be getting interested in discussions elsewhere, so we're going to follow them.
You know what they got for their money? They got a hell of a lot for their money because activists take over doing that for the next 3 years. We spend our fucking money.
So guys, the lines have really fallen apart here. We have liberals on the conservative side. The liberal side is still liberal, and the amount of pro-police protesters here is dwindling to maybe 1 or 2 dozen. Let's go over here and get like a panning shot.
We're here to support. The Latinos are here to support. If we are not, we have to look at ourselves too. Latinos need to rise up and help mother. There's enough.
All right, so here we are. Right behind me is Governor Tim Walz's executive mansion, right there. I strongly doubt that he is in there today. Right in front of me, we have what used to be the conservative side of a pro-police demonstration. However, last night, as the conservative demonstration was getting organized and figuring out who's going to come on Facebook, it seems like Black Lives Matter and possibly Antifa organized a counter demonstration that you see to my left on the other side of the divide there. Since the event started here maybe an hour and 15 minutes ago, I would say that the amount of conservatives here has dwindled to no more than maybe 2 dozen, while the liberal crowd has continued to grow. Moments ago, we saw groups of individuals debating with each other, arguing with each other, which appears to still be happening. We almost saw a fight earlier, but thankfully law enforcement was able to intervene and shut that down before it began.
All these people sucked it right out of your head. Because I'm born. No, you were born into all this. You know what? You didn't live the life that I did when America.
How's the stream quality, guys? Is it clear?
How do you? You guys have no clue. You have no clue. You have not a word to
Antifa medic. Well, it looks like this situation continues. We're going to walk over to the Black Lives Matter side of today's demonstration. We are now on the Black Lives Matter side of the demonstration. You can see here that they drew a much more robust crowd than the pro-police demonstrators.
I have a message for all the so-called good cops. Start snitching on the bad cops. Start snitching on the bad cops. You do not get to hold power in the society. You do not get to hold power in the system without accountability and responsibility. You do not get to hold power without accountability and responsibility.
Hey, what's up? How long have you been over here?
With great power comes great responsibility. Power of the band to send a person to jail for the rest of their life. The power of the gun to take away that life.
Do they care who we're with?
Accountability.
I don't share who I'm with.
Own up to your system. Snitch on bad cops.
The chicks with the backpacks?
Yeah, they're just younger. I figured they'd be willing to talk, you know.
Maybe.
If you're looking.
All right. I just wanted to point something out. A woman over there yelled at us, "Stop being criminals." You don't know me. I am not a fucking criminal. What makes you think they can just look at me? I'm a criminal. For what?
Where's the microphone?
What else do you know about me? What else do you know about me? About the color of my skin. You don't know my name. You don't know who I am or where I come from or any of my morals. So stop yelling at me that I'm a fucking criminal. I'm here just as much as you are. We're in the same shit. That's what it is. Right there. It's right there. I'm a criminal for what? And you're not for what? I don't know you. You're white. That's all I can see. And I'm only black. That's all I can see. But yeah, you just call me a criminal like that. That's what made me really fucking angry.
Give it up.
Oho, Daki Api. Vilat. My name is Mike. I'm Native American from the Oglala Nation. I spent 7 months at Standing Rock.
Oh, right now we have an activist who is at Standing Rock. He said he spent 7 months there.
This is the colors of the medicine wheel. This is the sacred colors. If you pay attention and you notice, the sacred colors is made up of 4 separate colors.
We're going to get a better view.
There's the red, the white, the black, and the yellow. These are the natural balance of the earth that you are standing on. The earth that you are standing on right now is not America. America is a government. The earth you're standing on is brutal iron, and it has been brutal iron for thousands of years.
Looks like this guy's asking questions to the police officer. I don't really care whose side you're on. You probably shouldn't bring kids to a protest. There is the Native American guy who's been speaking. Oh. Somebody's yelling at the AK guy. Try to get over there and see what's happening.
Looks like a pretty civil discussion.
What's that?
They're having a pretty civil back and forth.
All right. How long have they been talking for?
A little while.
Cool, thank you.
Couple minutes.
If I was white, I'd kill myself. I suggest you do this thing.
Are you here with an agenda?
No, it's quite clear. I just like making cool videos. Bad luck, guys. Bad luck.
Can I talk to you a little bit about what's happening here? Like, how do you feel?
What's your take on it?
Can you? I don't want to do my face on here if you don't mind.
What the fuck?
I don't do Black
Lives Matter is a movement.
You realize that like
Are you fucking moving?
people at protests have been prosecuted based off of facial recognition technology? Like this is something
You're
that's
fucking
been
crazy. Your dad's fucking
I
dead.
mean, like, I'm just.
Because he fought for my freedom by going into other countries.
I just get the sense like you're pretty removed from the amount of pain that's like pent up around here. Like these people are dying. These people have been dying disproportionately. Like black people make up 13% or some fucking tiny percent of this country, and they die twice as often by police. This is recapitulated in every single other system, including the justice system, including all of that. Like I don't really get where you're coming from here. You can't be objective.
You see all the other camera guys with news cameras?
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing I am.
Yeah, I just like I'm curious as to like what your game. You got a fucking phone, not a camera.
So tell us why you care about Black lives. What are you doing to protect Black lives? No. What about Black lives? Hey, okay. George Floyd gets murdered by the police. Who needs help? The police or George Floyd? Who needs help?
He's thinking real long and hard. He may go home tonight.
Black people are George Floyd gets murdered in blood and told fucking daylight. Who needs help? Black people are who needs help? Can you tell me that you're not a fucking white supremacist?
So much.
Don't take your fucking duty. Go ride your fucking stupid ass Harley Davidson.
The only thing you're going to do is they're going to overwork you with 60 to 70 hours a week and underpay you. That's all you're going to get. And the best you get is
That's a platform, my guy. 3,000?
They got a shit ton of DUIs.
Who are your followers? Like, do you have a...
Everyone here is braver than your
demographic or like is it something?
Yes, I do.
Because they can't handle it. They don't know what they're doing. You're in mental warfare right now, brother.
Oh, you're the real victim, huh? Because you wear stupid fucking glasses? Then why the fuck are you in Blue Lives Matter, huh? Let me ask you the same question, dipshit. You see the video of George Floyd being murdered by cops? Who needs them? Black people or cops? Who needs them?
But he's not a criminal. He's not a criminal. You know what happened? The problem is he was counterfeit bill. That wasn't even on him. He didn't bring that shit out of his pocket. He walked back. He walked back. He walked back. He fucking walked back to go get a real fucking Nazi. That is what happened. And how did you call the cops? Tell me how that man is in that case, he was right here. Okay, if under a false yes, but you're not stopping, you're not protesting about all the black lives that kill each other. You're protesting about on your phone that accidentally killed somebody. And then you start riots and start fucking up the world. We're not fucking up the world, we're making our voices known.
Wait, hold on, did you vote for a traitor? Oh, you did! Wait, you voted for Trump, right? You voted for Trump, right? So you voted for a traitor. You know, I mean, you want to talk about fucking up this country? Let's talk about the man who literally committed treason.
Don't even go there.
Oh, you don't? Oh, yeah, don't talk about treason. I want to be a patriot, but I don't want to talk about a traitor in the White House that I voted for, right? You don't want to talk about that. No, we don't want to talk about it. We ignore it, right? That's how you feel, right? What are the facts? The facts that he committed treason and you voted for him? What other facts do you mean? You mean where he tried to sell the election to the Ukrainians to try and win?
Oh, you mean all that shit that he got cleared for and there's no proof of all the Democrats?
I'm sorry, what? What? I'm sorry.
Yes, he did. It was the Democrats railroading somebody. So go there.
We have all the witnesses.
The governor is a Democrat, right?
Sure.
The mayor, Democrat. So why don't you go climb up through their asses individually?
You do understand how this works, right?
But protest.
We've tried to be peaceful. We've tried to be peaceful.
Honestly.
Because you're making a stand, you're making this turn into something from hurting people. Keeping you from hurting people. You're turning shit into oil by yourself.
Hold up, you want to know how anything's happened in this country? Do you want to know how anything's happened in this country? Do you want to know why you have a weekend? You have a weekend because of riots. I bet you can't wait to go to the bar on Friday night. And it's only because of riots that you have that right. Only because of riots. You owe your life to riots. I owe my life to riots. We all owe our lives to riots. So take your cowardly ass back home.
You know, I'm thinking it's the Martians that were all liable to it, because they must have come down here in the water at some point.
So that's why you don't know history? You do know you have a weekend because of riots. You love your weekend. You love your weekend. You love making a real wage. Do you like those things? Do you enjoy a weekend? Your country is so much.
Yeah, that was for our independence.
That was just. Oh, so that was just. Oh, that was just. Oh, so black independence isn't it? It doesn't matter?
I just said, do not listen. Try to listen to the whole sentence, not just the little part. Because when I say that Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, broad statement.
Then why don't Black Lives Matter?
Did I just say all lives matter? All right. Now, if you don't commit a crime, you don't resist arrest, you don't get cuffed and stuff. All right?
Taylor.
There's always going to be exceptions.
Why are they always black? Why are they always black?
They're not always black. You guys
Why don't they go to prison then?
Disproportionately so.
Why don't those cops go to prison next?
13%
Why haven't they been
of
arrested?
the population is black, and they commit 50% of the
He went to jail. He went to jail.
was full of cops, there'd be more crimes there too. If your neighborhood was full of crime, 200 cops would probably come to your neighborhood a lot more often too.
Do you understand why that happens?
Every house somewhere, I'm sure, and you don't have to worry about the cops because nothing bad happens in your neighborhood.
Because of my opinion.
I don't want to
You know,
I'm gonna switch.
My shot's right here.
What?
Hey, Bobby, I'm talking to you. Hey, Cracker, listen, the one time justice for a police murder is when a black cop murdered a white woman. He got sentenced to 12 years. He went to jail right away. How come any of the cops that murdered all these black people aren't in jail? What happened to the Mike Brown's killer? What happened to Aaron Porter's killer? What happened to your right killers? What happened to Trayvon Martin's killer? What happened to George Floyd's killer? You really think that there's justice? No, the one can get justice. The system that is literally built on a bigoted genocide and the police are built in the KKK. It doesn't even matter what you're running at.
If Sandra don't get it, shut it down! If Sandra don't get it, shut it down! If Sandra don't get it, shut it down! If Brianna don't get it, shut it down! If Brianna don't get it, shut it down! If Brianna don't get it, shut it down! If Eliza don't get it, shut it down! If Eliza don't get it, shut it down! If Eliza don't get it, shut it down! If Orlando don't get it, shut it down! If Orlando don't get it, shut it down! If Orlando don't get it, shut it down! We need to know who's with me right now. And for all the brothers and sisters on that side of the fence, I need you to listen up right now too.
Incel life is really hard. He's probably having a tough life as it is.
You're going for your chance to think about it later.
10 seconds to raise your fist.
It's really hard when people are upset.
Please stop calling for someone to raise your fist if you're on
And
the
look
side.
around. These people that are with
Can you
you.
see what these stadies are doing over here?
These people are with you.
How the fuck do you call us minorities, bitch? Look at yourself.
They may not have been at the table before, but they're staying at the table now. Everybody with their fist up. You know who you are. You know why you're here. We're here to say that it's not okay.
Imagine voting for fascism and calling yourself a patriot.
Outside of the government,
You are not fascist. You are
impeach the white supremacy.
That was literally saying the fucking guy.
I didn't hear him speak with that.
I thought he was
Police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the 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 police. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh.
Some sort of action here.
Get the fuck out of here! She called me. That's not no. We're telling her to get the fuck out. What happened? Stand up. No.
whole crowd is chanting against this woman right here. The whole crowd is chanting against this lady. This one lady was involved in some sort of altercation. Everyone is shouting her down.
New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. Old Jim Crow. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. Old Jim Crow. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. New Jim Crow. New Jim Crow. The whole damn system's got to go. A towel or something, you can sit on that. We're going to claim this space for a while, and we're going to hear some more speakers. We're going to hear some testimonies from inside, outside, and in the streets. Please spread out if you feel at all uncomfortable with proximity. We have a couple more speakers. Those of you who are going to be speaking at this stop, please come up. We're going to get started in just a second. Also, if you have some music, plug it in. You have it out on your phone. Thank you very much.
Yo.
These signs seem to be some of the demands that the Black Lives Matter Winston-Salem group has for the inmates at the jail right behind.
You all matter! 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 You all matter!
Do we have any women or non-binary speakers? We're going to do a couple of stops here. Who wish to speak?
We have collected some testimonials from letters that people have written back to us. So we're going to read some of them. Destiny's going to read one now. If you would like to read one, you can also come up and read one.
Please do not be shy. We're going to wipe off the mic for you.
Yeah, we are safe. We're safer than they are, which is the problem.
We've mentioned several times that last week we undertook a massive letter writing campaign. We attempted to write to every person inside the jail. Didn't hit that, but we hit 240 letters in 1 week, which the correctional officers have to open and read every letter we send in. So thank you all for creating a pain in the ass for them. And we got dozens of responses in the past week, and we're going to read back some of them. We asked specific questions about the COVID response in jail, and so some of the answers are very specific to this. And they're all, we've like redacted the names for the security of the prisoners, because while we can protest on the streets and say, like, fuck the racist cops, these have repercussions for them inside jail. We are raising our voice in ways that they cannot. We owe it to them to be a voice when they are oppressed. I've received your letter and wish to thank you for support. That said, let me address your questions in the order that they came. Yes, we are aware of the officers testing positive. However, we were told that we were not supposed to know. Also, there have been mentions that possibly 2 to 3 inmates may have it, but of course no confirmation there. But from what I can tell, the order to keep quiet comes from Bobby Kimbrough himself, and was done so that he can make his own statement. In fact, the day before the news story broke, on 6/12/2020, was when we first got masked. We all received 2 masks, no hand sanitizer wipes like they said on the news. Yes, I'd like to take a test again. We tested back in March and I tested negative. As I said, we were given 2 masks. They are unbranded. No, and that is not that they are taking any precautions. I'm unhappy with how they've used it as an excuse. I've not had a proper visit in over 3 months. When my fiance wanted to put money on my account, she was not allowed into the building until she had a mask on and was temperature gunned. So if they're doing all that to visitors, how come we cannot have any visits? Why should my people or I have to pay for phone calls when we get no visitations? Why can't our phone calls be free? Furthermore, I'm a worker in Redacted. I'm told I receive no days for being a worker because I have a blank minor charge. Why is it that I do not get that, but child molesters do? Finally, I've done over 50% of my sentence, and in fact, I've done more and on nonviolent misdemeanor. So why not say time served and release people like me? I mean, other jails have done it. No, I don't have any health issues, and I'm okay with you sharing my answers. Thank you all for listening. If any of you would like to read more testimonials, we have a bunch cut out. So volunteers, please, to read. Woo. We can do more than one at a time, so any other volunteers?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hello, my name is. I have been in this facility for 8 months. No change in the operations of this facility has happened until after it was on the news of the 5 officers being infected. Even still, very little is being done. I do not have to experience the 14-day lockdown. I arrived in the facility before the outbreak. I am currently located in population on Tower Blank. The food from the kitchen not only are portions small, we have to put up with the hair, fingernails, and other items possibly being served. It is hard to survive in here because the prices on canteen are outrageous. $1.10 for a ramen noodle, for example. In my dorm, black mold is in the showers. Mop heads only change once a week for a 50 to 60 men dorm. The tables, chairs, showers should be cleaned more regularly. Also, the officers to enforce the issues are very slack. Officers and medical staff hardly wear gloves or masks when encountering inmates. Medical care here is very poor at best, and when we ask to get tested for COVID-19, we are threatened and told you will have to go to a different floor in single cell and lose privileges and be on 23-hour lockdown. So most people get scared into not going. But in the beginning of COVID-19, we were told we couldn't get tested. Now they only say yes, followed by threat of loss of privileges next. We are not provided with proper chemicals, gloves, or anything to clean cells with. Inmates cannot use sanitizer or any type of antibacterial, nor is it provided. The jail just offered masks 6/16/20. I would like to see this facility treat us more like human beings rather than animals. 1, yes, I want COVID-19 testing. Yes, just recently received masks. 3, hell no, not happy, nothing is enforced. I would like the jail to take COVID-19 more seriously. I am exposed every time an officer comes in from outside with mask or gloves, or nurse is not properly masked or gloved either. This is a serious issue. This place is having its time to wake up now, or someone may just sue this jail. Precautions should have been taken a long time ago. I'm fine with you sharing my answers. Don't have to be anonymous. Thank you, Prisoner Outreach Initiative, for being in contact with me. It is time people know the truth.
Hello. I hope all is well with you and your family during these disastrous times. I'm glad to hear from you all again. First off, I would like to start by saying Forsyth Detention Center has not informed none of us about their sheriffs testing positive for COVID-19. We have been inquiring about the status of COVID-19 in the facility, but the officers here claim that they are not allowed to tell us anything about it, which in my opinion would be much simply if they would let us watch the news, but that's not allowed either. As far as being tested for COVID-19, I have asked and the facility will not respond to my request. The MedTech here at Forsyth Detention, for the first time since the pandemic started, gave us 2 plain masks on 6/12/20. At the point we became really concerned, and still to this day, they have not told us about the sheriff's testing positive for COVID-19. When it comes to the welfare of the inmates, preventative measures seems to be of no concern here at Forsyth Detention. There are many reasons for this conclusion. 1, the trustees, inmate workers, are not trained properly on how to clean, so the dorms are filthy. The showers have mold buildup from the floors to the ceiling. The phones, tables, chairs, handrails, etc. are not cleaned and disinfected daily. The dorm officers and sergeants, when doing their daily rounds, must find our living conditions to be adequate, assuming they do not have to live in these types of environments. Unfortunately, I have underlying ailments that leaves me highly susceptible to COVID-19, so I try to keep the space I'm assigned to clean and disinfect it. Nevertheless, Forsyth Detention does not provide us with the necessary tools to do so. 1 mop head per week for the whole dorm is not sanitary. I could go on for what would seem like forever, but I hope at least answer the questions that you asked of me. I'm okay with you sharing my answers. Once again, I would like to the POI for you all's concerns, and it means so much to us.
Thank you for writing me. I appreciate you getting in contact with me. It's time the public hears the truth about this facility and these issues. It is true that before the 12th, this jail only prevention plan was putting new incoming inmates in a single cell dorm for the 14-day incubation period. As far as masks or cleaning supplies, no masks were provided to inmates until after 6/12 to cover their ass. Cleaning chemicals are the same ones that have been in the facility for the last 10 years. Nothing changed. However, trustees are the only ones allowed gloves in population. They do not clean phones, chairs, or showers like they should, nor are the officers enforcing it properly. Many of the officers don't wear gloves or use sanitizer. Inmates are not allowed. Some officers don't wear masks when coming from the street either. As far as an inmate wanting to be tested, if you want to be tested, they threaten to take privileges and to remove you from population to isolation for 14 days is what they're telling us. As far as symptoms, they only check temperature, that's it. I would love to be tested. We were offered masks 6/16, and still not allowed gloves or allowed to use sanitizer. No, I'm not happy with the preventative measures this facility is taking. They were only doing it to cover their ass from lawsuit. Yeah, I would love to see more enforced measures by far as such provide gloves, sanitizer, and enforce tables, chairs wiped down regularly. Yes, I have health issues, also asthma, and sad to say, all the inhalers on the med cart are all kept in a Ziploc bag with 40 other individuals' names on them, and some with mouth covers, some not. I was also just informed they're doing a huge shipment of prisoners next week just to avoid blowback from all the large letter writing your organization has done. They know they messed up. COVID-19 is not the first thing they've swept under the rug here. Thank you so much for caring. Inmate lives matter.
Got a couple more. We're gonna do some other chants as well. Thank you very much.
Testing. 6/24/2020.
Hello, my name is Blank. I got your letter. I'm going to say thanks for writing because some of this COVID-19 need to be heard in this jail. No, they have not gave a test for the COVID-19, and I have filled out 3 sick calls asking could I take the test. Yes, they do take my temperature, and they did that twice a week. I have medical conditions. They don't take my blood pressure like they're supposed to, and my blood levels stay high. I'm okay with you sharing anything I'm saying. Yes, they have passed out 2 masks since they found out. They got 5 officers here that had, but by my understanding, I think it's like 7 officers here at the county jail. Well, thank you for reaching out to me. I hope something could change for me due to my health and here with this COVID-19. Thanks for your time.
My name is Redacted and cellmate Redacted. Both of us would like to test for COVID-19. Both are scared to ask because we know they will quarantine us and keep us from contacting family if we test positive. They are not doing a lot of the stuff they're saying they are. They give us 2 cheap masks. Mine broke by the end of the first day, and they have not gave us another to replace it. They're not giving us hand sanitizer, and they have not been giving us any cleaning supplies. They're keeping us locked in cell more than usual. I think this is against our Constitution. Please help us make it back to our families.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Rise up! Let's rise up! Make sure they hear us one more time. No justice!
No peace!
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 Release them now! 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 Release them now!
Release them now! Release them now! Release them now! Release them now! Release them now! Release them now! Release them now!
We demand action in Forsyth County. We demand action. 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 We demand action.
We demand action!
We demand action.
We demand action!
We demand action.
We demand action!
We demand action.
We demand action! We demand action!
So y'all, I've been hearing some reports that I don't know if they're substantiated, but that what may be released on the video recordings of John Neville's, not his death, but his harm, may be even worse than what we saw with George Floyd. So never think that this kind of incident won't come to your hometown, won't come to your block, won't come to your own home, because it very well might. So we're going to need your help to investigate this, because to be honest, I don't trust the FBI to do a real investigation of John Neville's death. This is just breaking news from yesterday. Say his name.
John Neville.
Say his name.
John Neville.
Say his name. Say his name. Louder. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. All right, we're going to continue marching around to the other side. Indict the system. Indict the system.
People in cages, you know?
It really is.
Yeah. Jeez.
I can breathe. 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 hear one or two more stories. I want to thank those of you who've been lugging around all of these wagons, who brought all this cold water. We do have water, y'all. Not all of it's cold, but it's water. We do have some peanuts and snacks. Please partake. We don't let people, even though it's not as hot as we thought it would be, it still can dehydrate y'all. So please partake, even if you do not think that you're hydrated. Take some water, please. We have some more in the car from where that comes from, so we'll make sure that you are hydrated between now and the end of the march. So thank you, Keaton. Thank you all of those of y'all who, we have some people lugging around this stuff for like 5 miles on Monday. So thank you all for helping. Anyone who's helped to make signs, anyone who's helped to make this event happen. Of course, Prisoner Outreach Initiative, Winston for Peace, Drum Coalition, Drum folks if they're here. Winston for Peace folks if you're here. Right on. We're going to have a couple more speakers. You can choose which one you want. If you want to choose a megaphone, or if you want to speak out of the PA system. If you want to speak in the PA system, you got to speak really loud, like you're yelling into the microphone. You got to push that air in the microphone so we can hear you. But it's plenty loud. If you get close up enough, we're going to wipe it down. We're going to hear a couple more stories. Mom, did you want to tell your story?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mom, also known as Mary Bryant. My son's name is Antoine Bryant. His life matters. Amen. His life matters. His life matters. His life matters. In 1993, my son committed a crime, but he didn't kill nobody. They said, I don't know what it was. It was crazy to me because it seemed like they sent the whole police force with armed with guns and pointing it at my house, and it was crazy to me. But they was looking for my child. And plus others that took part in the crime. But like I said, he didn't kill nobody. I'm a firm mom. I love everybody. It's a mom that could not even make it out here. But I stand in their place. They probably don't even believe in this, but I'm standing in their place because I believe in justice. My son was 17 years old. But not only that, he turned himself in. They waited for him to turn 18 years old before they sentenced him. And they sentenced him to 103 years. He already done served 27 years. I'm standing not only for my child, but those that are locked up in jail. I'm standing out here for you too. All lives matter. The black lives matter. The suffering that blacks go through, it should not be. The struggle is real. I've been dealing with this for a long time. And I've been doing it by myself. Everywhere I've been going, I ain't been getting no help. My son is suffering, but not long, because I'm still keeping the faith. Justice is coming for him. He's going to be free. was right. Yes. And this is right. I think each and every last one of y'all, especially the white, because y'all out here standing, y'all out here supporting. I want to see more of our blacks out here. Yes. Sooner or later they gonna come. For whatever reason they're not here, we standing in the gap for them. There's only a few of us, but it's a lot of y'all. I thank y'all. I love y'all. My name is Mom. Y'all are my brother, my sister. I'm standing for my forefathers that had to go through a lot of stuff for us. To think about my great-grandmother being raped. And my grandmother was dead. I'm not knocking that, but she's deceased. But she's deceased now. But if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have had the mother that I had. It wouldn't have been on me. So I go much further than that. Yes. Much further. Yes. I would accept you to go through a whole life. Can you imagine your baby being fed to alligators? Your husband being raped? Your sons being, and your daughters being sold off to other slaves? Gosh, my mind just goes mad. I can't even imagine what my people went through. And I don't want to because it's scary to me. My father put, I'm 59. I'm not 59, and they'll just lie. I will be 61 years old next month. My father, bless his heart, tried to protect me from all this racism. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know nothing about it. But when my son was sentenced to 103 years, I couldn't understand that. 103 years? He didn't kill nobody. Yeah. So you telling me he should have killed somebody? No. Yeah. That's not him. Yes, what he did was wrong. But 103 years, no. 27 years, let my baby go. Go ahead. Let my daggone baby go. I want her. I'm not going to stand here and do that. All these many years in prison, you ain't giving them nothing. They in prison, in jail, suffering. Their parents suffering. My children, which is their siblings, they suffering. Come on. Come on. Some changes got to be made. We got to stand. If we don't stand for what's right, gosh, we'll fall for anything. And the devil is a lie. If I stand by myself, I'm willing to do that. Tony, Sarah, all of y'all, I don't know everybody's name, but thank you, Chris. Thank y'all. More power to the people.
Thank you, Mom. So one of our demands is going to be that minors are no longer charged as adults. This has been a racist trope. I almost said Trump. Racist trope.
Not much different.
Trope in our history, in American history. You all know the story of Emmett Till? Do you all know the story of Emmett Till? Yes. Children 15 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, charged as adults. But they can't vote. What does that mean? I also believe that if you're old enough to work, you should be old enough to vote too. So I believe in that part of it as well. So we have a couple more speakers. Destiny's going to come back and give a couple words. Where are you, Destiny? Thank you very much. Give her a round of applause.
Okay. So I would like to start with a popular activist chant. It's called the Asada affirmation. We're going to tweak it a little bit so because we know they can hear us.
Oh yeah.
We're going to speak to them directly.
Okay, repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for your freedom.
It is our duty to fight for your freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
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 So I hope this isn't news to any of you all. But slavery never ended and racism never went away. It just changed. Slavery was preserved, not abolished in the Constitution. It was preserved and maintained in the institutions we stand in front of now, inside of prisons and jails.
Absolutely.
Abolition is an unfinished project. If you believe that slavery is wrong, you cannot support the prison system, the carceral system that exists today. Nobody wanted slavery reform. No one wanted segregation reform. Abolition is the only option. In our current justice system, quote, justice system, 95% of people do not go to trial. Can you reform 95% of a system and call it the same thing? You cannot reform this system. It cannot be reformed. Right now in our system, 90% of rapes do not get reported, and only 1% end in felony convictions. If crimes don't go to trial, if rapists don't go to jail, who protects us? Does this system protect you? No. What is it here for? What does it do? We see that it exists. We can see what it does do. That as an extension of slavery, that it is dehumanizing. Slavery treated people like chattel. We don't use the word slave anymore. We use words like inmate and criminal. But what is a criminal? I hate to tell you, but some of you are criminals for standing in the street right now. And criminal just means you're doing something that the system doesn't want you to do. But does the system have your interest at heart? No. Who is here to help you? Who is here to help your family? Who is here to protect you and make a world for you? This system isn't for us. We have to make a system that is for us, and we have to destroy the system designed to oppress us and to hurt us. Prisons and jails don't do anything to help anybody. They don't provide any solutions. They only provide pain. You take people with problems that have created problems in society, and what do we do with them? With prisons and jails, we throw them away. But these are people, and people are not disposable. And people, as one of the mothers said earlier, do not stop being sons and brothers and mothers and sisters and family when they go to jail. Now, over 90% of people who go to prison and jail will come back out into society. They don't go away. What happens when they're inside? Inside is just more trauma. People leave with the same problems they went in with, and more, with new ones, with drug problems, with families that have been fractured for decades, with an economic cap on their life, that they won't be able to have jobs, access to jobs and housing that they used to have. We're standing in front of a trauma factory, and it pours its waste into our communities, into the Black community, into the Latinx community, and into poor communities everywhere. There are no rich people in this prison. There are no rich people in this jail. We all know the name of a rich rapist. He's president. This system is not for us. It doesn't protect us.
Utah State. The Prisoner Outreach Initiative is a prison abolitionist organization. We work towards reforms with our end goal being abolition. We don't believe that we can save this. As Martin Luther King said towards the end of his life, he felt like he led his people into a burning building. We already know what's on fire. We want it. We believe in the abolition of prisons and jails, and if you would like to join us and work on this project towards a freedom and towards restorative justice practices that can help heal our communities and build things that are for us instead of systems that are designed for our oppression, please get in touch with me or Chris with the hair. All right, thank you guys.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. I feel like I have said this at least 100 times over the last 3 to 4 months, but it must be said again. COVID-19 is apocalyptic in the truest sense of the word. The word apocalypse means to uncover, unmask, or unveil something. And this pandemic has uncovered and unmasked the ways in which our city, our state, our nation, and our world is plagued by injustice and isolation. As one freedom fighter put it, racial capitalism is coronavirus's pre-existing condition. And it's a deadly pre-existing condition. From the days of Jim Crow Senior to our current moment of Jim Crow Junior, Winston-Salem, for all intents and purposes, has been an apartheid city. Here is where we practice apartheid economics, medical apartheid, educational apartheid. This city is not one city, it's 2 cities, 2 Winston-Salems. One Winston marked by a history of privilege, power, and plunder. Another city, another Winston marked by a history of disinvestment and oppression. And yes, in COVID-19, we all are on the same motion. We're all attempting to ride out this same storm. But not all of us are attempting to ride out the storm of COVID-19 on the same boat. Due to this history of apartheid and oppression, some of our neighbors are riding out the storm of COVID-19 on boats that are far less seaworthy. Black communities are much more vulnerable. Latinx communities are much more vulnerable. Unhoused neighbors are much more vulnerable. And as we have said tonight, those who are inmates in our detention centers are much more vulnerable. But we're here tonight because we believe our freedom, our flourishing, and our future is bound up with the freedom, flourishing, and futures of those who are most vulnerable. As Fannie Lou Hamer said it, nobody's free until everybody's free. Or as Martin Luther King said, we're tied in an inescapable web of mutuality. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Or we can put it this way, infection in our detention center is a threat for infections in our broader city. And when we look at what's going on in our city, we listen to the letters. And I'm reminded of the words of James Baldwin. He basically said, if you want to know how a city feels about justice, you don't ask the police chief, you don't ask the mayor, you don't ask the lawyers, you don't ask the protected middle class, you ask the black, the brown, the wretched, the poor, the imprisoned, and they will tell you how a city really executes justice. And what we've heard tonight has shown us that Winston-Salem is a city marred by injustice. And I'll leave you with this one last thought. What would it look like for we the people to band together, to press, and to push for a vision of this city that says when folks are having mental health crisis, they're not locked up, they're not caged, they're not given a court case, they are given care, concern, and support. What would it look like to build a city where we have the conditions that actually get to the root causes of crime? What would it look like to build a city that actually lives into its name? Winston-Salem, Salem means peace. And until we have a city that is ordered by justice and love, then we can never live into our name. No justice? No peace! No justice? No peace! I want to remind everyone that inmates have put themselves through great risk to communicate with us. So we need to honor that. Those of you who do have 5-10 minutes, it won't take longer, I promise you. When we get back to Marshall Square, we're going to have some letter writing materials out. We're going to be writing to inmates. So please, stay on at the end. Participate in this process. This is how we found out about so many things that are happening inside and outside. Do we have anyone else who wants to say a few words?
I'm a victim. Well, I'm a winner, though. I'm victorious. And I'm amazed how that racism still abides in the system. I had an uncle, 2 of them as a matter of fact, that was murdered. Nothing was done about it. This is back in 1965. And it's still going on. We come against injustice. We come against racism. I'm a my son, with inmates' lives matter. I witnessed some things. Like mother have to suffer. God help me. Wondering if their son is gonna make it home. Or will they get killed in the streets? Some of our sons was abused by the wicked hands of racial injustice police. By the evil hands, they eat them. I'm only telling you, my dear, what I know. Testifying to that I do know. Telling that which I have seen. They beat him, broke his nose. Did they tell the mother? Of course not. So I say to you, my beloved brothers and sisters, keep on fighting on. Keep on fighting against racism. Keep on fighting against hatred. Keep on, keep on, keep on.
We've been dealing with slavery pretty much since Earth was created. One thing about the human race, we do desire power, but also in our nature, we desire freedom. The people that desire power, they also desire freedom. But a lot of people that have power, the government, they don't care about the freedom of people like us. I got a brother that's sick right now, 90 days. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know
know if he's gonna catch COVID or not. You know what I'm saying? I pray that he don't. You know, we've been through too much to have to deal with this right now. And I'm gonna make a change. I'm an abolitionist, and I'm also a rebel. And that's why I'm standing right here today. I don't know what the government has going on right now. Our focus is freedom, and that's what we're gonna fight for. Freedom. Everybody. Freedom. Freedom. Everybody say a lot of freedom. Freedom. We want freedom. Freedom. We want justice. Freedom. And we will not give you peace until we have that. We will not give you peace until we have that. Let's put it this way. We will get freedom. And that's guaranteed. We will get it. The government, they don't got to change anything, because you want to know what? He's going to change it. She's going to change it. Government ain't got to do shit for us. Government ain't got to do shit for us, because we can do it. We can make this happen. We don't need Donald Trump ugly ass to do this shit for us, bro. Like, we can do this, bro. Let's put it this way. It only takes one human being to change the world. For example, George Floyd. You see what it led to. And then when you put a whole bunch of human beings together, imagine how much power we got. It only takes one man to do this, bro. And when y'all stand with me today, we're already powerful enough. There may not be a lot of people here, but we don't need a lot of people. If I could do this by myself, I'd do it. Right. Freedom. Freedom.
We'll let y'all know. If you look back in the history books and at the videos, the greatest movement in the history of this country, the civil rights movement, began with crowds that are smaller than this. You go back to the Black Panthers, their marches were this size, sometimes smaller. They went through great risk to fight for justice. So please honor this moment and the fact that there's so many people, y'all know them, that stand with us. We have just a couple more very short.
Hi, my name's Stephen Floyd. My friends call me Mad Dog. I'd like all y'all to call me Mad Dog. I marched on these streets when the Klan came through here. Religious leaders used to tell us, do not go down and protest. But how can you let something like that happen in your hometown? They say, just ignore it and go away. That's 30 years ago. It hadn't went away. And there's no doubt in my mind that if that officer in Minneapolis had to kill George Floyd, he would have been bragging later over a beer. I made that nigga holler for his mama. Yes, yes. That's what he did. So, and some people say they surprised because the white people are marching out here with us, but I'm not. White people have always supported civil rights. Maybe not in this number, but they have. But they finally got tired of seeing what we've been seeing all these years. And I appreciate there's a lot of young people who listen to these folks. I am just, they my heroes. Because the young are going to have to be the ones that lead this movement. Yes. They're going to have to do it. Yes. So I'm maybe just a little disappointed because there's not a lot of people here today, but I'm also appreciative for all the ones that are here. And the parents that brought the small kids. They need to learn this. They need to see it. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Okay, I'm not going to be long, but what I have to say, and I have to say, because it's in me to let you all know, actually just backs up with the both of you just said, which is, there is strength in numbers, and even though this crowd is small, you all have how many friends on Facebook? How many friends do you have in real life, okay? And the other thing I want to encourage you is to use your voice loudly, and don't be lukewarm, because that's the biggest problem I'm running into, is I feel alone, and I feel there's a lot of lukewarm behavior about anti-racism. This is nothing new to me, so for 18 years I felt the same way, and now everybody wants to speak on it, including my own mother. Well, you better believe I'm here for it now, right? I'm here to listen, and by using your voice and letting people know where you stand, no matter how far they push you back, is the most effective way that you are going to change lives. Today I had a woman who I actually went to high school with and haven't spoke to since message me on Facebook and say, I see what you've been doing and I can't wait anymore, I have to talk to you. I was really nervous because I think I'd seen some Republican posts, not to say one way or another, a while ago, and I think we've kind of paid less attention to each other since then. So I was pretty nervous about what we were going to talk about, but I was ready to have that conversation with her no matter which way it went. What she actually told me was she needed to confide in me because her father had been shot 18 times by the police over 10 years ago. And she doesn't know what to do because her friends are mocking defund the police. They're mocking Black Lives Matter, and she doesn't know where to turn. So she's turned to me in a different state. So I say all that just to invite you to open up to anybody. That's one case. I've asked people to be, that's what I can be. I have my own story. I have biracial children. But most importantly, I want people to have a face-to-face conversation because it's the only way you're going to learn. And the only way we're ever going to make change, because everything we've been talking about, right, the system, is a big, big project. It's a big, big power with millions and millions of dollars. And you are all here because you care enough. So now I just ask you to take action. Meet with somebody who has action. There's multiple people here who are in different organizations. You can reach out to them, sign up for the prison project and do something. I can tell you right now that I know that we spend over $2 million a year on animal safety and less than $300,000 on court services. So there's a problem that needs to be addressed at the level of our commissioners, our budget, and everything else that starts with you and me. We talked about rapist presidents. There are rapist, white, racist business owners in this town, and I know they're by name. So, I ask you to stand up for what you believe in, no matter what it takes. Have those conversations and get uncomfortable and get loud. That's the only way it's going to work.
Who protects us?
We protect us.
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 No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Right on, we're going to get started. We're going to head on back to 4th Street. Thank you very much for claiming this space and this time. Let's give us a couple more chants. The people united will never be defeated. Will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated.
Make some noise.
United will never be defeated. The people 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 united will never be defeated. United will never be defeated.
The people united
Will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united.
all these dirty politicians, we don't need them.
If you guys want to join the Discord, basically you'd be able to join our community and chat with all of us just like you are now, but you'd be able to do it even when we're not live streaming. That's the link I just posted in the chat.
justice! No peace! No 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 racist! Police! No racist! Police!
You guys want to see what's going on in Tampa, Florida? Protesters are at the Orient jail. Apparently they're all banging on the doors and chanting, trying to get one of their own out of jail. Let me know in the chat.
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Who lost their wallet? Van's wallet. My checkerboard wallet.
Riot will never be defeated.